Ladies and gentlemen, the Honourable Tony Abbott MP, Prime Minister of Australia, His Excellency Philip Green, OAM, High Commissioner of Australia to Singapore, the Honourable Andrew Robb, AO, Minister for Trade and Investment, the Honourable Annastacia Palaszczuk, MP, Premier of the wonderful state of Queensland, Ms Indranee Rajah, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Law and Ministry of Education, Mr Baram Gafu, Singapore High Commissioner to Australia, Ms Denise Phua, Mayor of Central Singapore, Associate Professor Fatimah Lateef, Member of Parliament for Marine Parade, GRC, Lieutenant General John Gray, AC, Chancellor of James Cook University, and Professor Sandra Harding, Vice-Chancellor and President of James Cook University, other distinguished guests, students, alumni, and friends of JCU Singapore. Good morning. I am pleased and grateful that you've given up your Sunday morning to join us for the opening of the JCU Singapore campus here in Singapore. Welcome to our campus. After many months of hard work by many people and some disruption to the local community, for which I sincerely apologise, the rooms are now ready. The koi fish are in the pond and the lights are on. And as of today, we are truly open to business. I hope you'll take the opportunity to see the wonderful facilities that are available to our students and to our local community while you're here today. I am Dale Anderson, Dr. Dale Anderson, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Head of the Singapore campus of James Cook University, Australia, and today I am the MC for this event. While the opening ceremony is happening here and now, I am pleased to let you know that it is also being streamed live to other auditoriums on this campus and through the JCU Singapore website to the world. We have three distinguished speakers this morning. Very shortly, I will call on the Chancellor of James Cook University, Lieutenant General John Gray, to welcome you here. Then the Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable Tony Abbott, will speak to us and officially open the campus. After the Prime Minister speaks, we will follow a time-honoured tradition at James Cook University, where the Vice-Chancellor and President, Professor Sandra Harding, will have the last word. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Chancellor John Gray to the stage.
Prime Minister, Australian High Commissioner, Minister for Trade and Investment, Premier, Senior Minister of State, Singapore High Commissioner, Members of Parliament, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, welcome to this wonderful morning here in Singapore on our new campus. This is an important day in the history of James Cook University. James Cook University is the second oldest university in Queensland, and it was established in 1970. The Queensland Parliament at the time chose the name James Cook University to commemorate the first sighting of Australia by Captain James Cook, the British explorer. Importantly, incorporated in the University Act was the requirement for the new university to undertake study, research and teaching on subjects of special importance to the people of the tropics. In 2001, in my third year as Chancellor, James Cook University made a commitment to a program of internationalisation intended to widen the horizons of our students and our staff and prepare them to play leading roles in the increasingly globalised world economy. Because of the university's geographic location in Australia's tropics, and because of our strengths in tropical matters, we decided to focus expansion on selected neighbour states in the Asia-Pacific region. A visit to Australia by a Singapore delegation in 2002, led by Dr. Henry Heng, who is present here with us today, proposed that James Cook University establish a campus in Singapore through a joint venture with the PSB Corporation. The University Council approved this project because it offered a key cultural and linguistic bridge into the tropics of Asia, in a country with which Australia has many shared values and experiences. In March 2003, the Singapore campus was officially opened with just 34 students in the Central China building. And in 2004, with growing student numbers, we moved to the Spring building. Then in 2006, Dr. Dale Anderson was appointed as our Chief Executive of the campus, and in 2007, we appointed Professor Sandra Harding as our Vice-Chancellor and President. And she is also, of course, the Chair of our board here in Singapore. Both those appointments have proven to be most significant and outstanding appointments from our university's perspective. 2008 saw us occupy a lovely campus at Upper Thomson Road, and subsequently we spread to a second smaller campus at Amokio. Then, and importantly, in 2011, we bought out PSB Academy and became, and still are, the only Australian university to wholly own and operate a campus in Singapore. Our operation in Singapore has been very focused throughout on delivering high quality in our research, education and administration. We achieved Singapore Quality Class in 2008. EduTrust 4 years certification in 2010 that was retained until earlier this year when we became the first ever to be awarded the highest quality rating of EduTrust Star Singapore. Many of the quality lessons that are learned here have been applied to our two Australian campuses in Cairns and Townsville. We are truly one university in two countries with 3 tropical campuses. Early this year, because we were outgrowing our campus at Upper Thomson Road and Amokio, the Singapore Land Authority, which had been most helpful during our search for a bigger campus, accepted our bid for this site, and that has led us here today for this very special occasion in the history of our university. As I promised Singapore on the public record in 2007, James Cook University is here for the long haul, and we will continue to work to meet the challenges ahead. We look forward to continued growth and expansion in our activities. In doing so, we're committed to participating fully in the exciting present and future initiatives and policies of the Australian, the Queensland and the Singapore governments through discoveries and our graduates that can make a difference. And it is now my great pleasure to invite the Honourable Tony Abbott, MP, Prime Minister of Australia, to address you. Thank you.
Well, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Ministers, Premier, ladies and gentlemen, it is a real thrill to be here to help open this sparkling new campus of James Cook University here in Singapore. And I want to start by saying thank you to the team here at the university for introducing me and my colleagues to some of your students just in the brief time before we come together for this ceremony. There's something marvellous about the enthusiasm to learn of university students. There's something marvellous about the vocation of teaching. There's something tremendous about the intellectual curiosity and the restless striving to do better, which is at the heart of all good higher education, and obviously it's very, very much present here in James Cook University, Singapore. I'm also very conscious of the fact that this is the only university other than Singaporean foundations which has a standalone physical presence here in this great city, this country of Singapore. And I guess that means that if you are looking for the characteristics and qualities of an Australian university education, of, if I may say so, a Western university education, this can be done, this can be had without leaving home for the students of Singapore. So I think this is quite a special day for higher education here in Singapore, and obviously it's another chapter in the story of Australia and Singapore's long and strong friendship. One of the great leaders of modern times was, of course, your founder, Lee Kuan Yew, who didn't just lead Singapore, he made Singapore. And Lee Kuan Yew believed that people should be the best they can be, and that the best way to bring that about was through the power of a good education. Speaking at the Colombo Plan Conference in 1974, Lee Kuan Yew said that the best means to a decent life for our people is through the acquisition of more knowledge and higher skills, and hasn't modern Singapore so marvellously embodied that aspiration of your late founder? Of course, since the 1950s, more than 130,000 Singaporeans have graduated from Australian universities, many through the Colombo Plan. I'm pleased to say that today, through the new Colombo Plan, just begun by my government, the tide of students flows both ways. We are returning the compliment that Singapore has paid to us by learning as much in your country as you have over the decades learnt in ours. Thanks to what we do today, more and more Singaporeans will have the opportunity to study in an Australian university here in Singapore. As Australia focuses more and more on our north, as Australia focuses more and more on strengthening our links with Asia, universities focused on the tropics, like James Cook University, will be very well placed to reap the benefits. James Cook University is obviously a flagship for Australian tertiary education here in Singapore. Students from 50 countries are studying with James Cook University here in Singapore. This university is respected as a teaching institution. It's respected as a research institution. It's respected as an institution which engages deeply with the communities that it serves. And it was good to hear the Chancellor say that this is the first private education institution to attain an EduTrust star here in Singapore. And I do wish to thank the Singaporean government for the support that you have given to James Cook University. I'm conscious of the fact that this campus was once a Buddhist secondary school, and while we are repurposing the buildings, we are still striving to achieve that wonderful Buddhist goal of attaining wisdom through education. University is about growing as a person. It's about opening your mind. It's about enriching your heart, and may that long be exactly what happens here at James Cook University in Singapore.
Prime Minister, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, please return to the stage for the unveiling of a plaque that will commemorate the opening of our campus. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to welcome back to the stage the Vice-Chancellor and President of James Cook University, Professor Sandra Harding.
Thank you, Dale. I too would like to acknowledge the Prime Minister of Australia, Australia's High Commissioner to Singapore, Minister for Trade and Investment, the Premier of Queensland, Singapore Senior Minister of State, Singapore's High Commissioner to Australia, members of Parliament of Singapore, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends all. Much has been said, and I won't keep you for long. Just a few words to end today's ceremony. By now, you will be in no doubt that this is a very significant moment in the history of our university. James Cook University is a comprehensive university that values the creation of knowledge through our research as much as it does its high teaching standards. We have a unique vision among Australian universities, and that is to deliver a brighter future for life in the tropics worldwide through graduates and discoveries that make a difference. The tropics worldwide is well worth our time and attention. Almost half of Australia's landmass, including northern Queensland, is located in the tropics. So is the great city-state of Singapore. Flowing from an initiative of James Cook University, the global significance of the tropics as a zone was made plain in the State of the Tropics report launched by Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi on the 29th of June 2014, almost 1 year ago to the day. James Cook University, the National University of Singapore, Nanyang Technological University of Singapore were involved in the development of the report over 3 years, along with 9 other universities and research institutions around the world. That report identifies a new and potent global dynamic. In no small way, the global future depends on the tropics. The rest of the world will be affected by what happens in the tropics for decades to come. They say that demography is destiny. By 2050, the tropics will be home to more than half of the world's people and to a full 2/3 of the world's children. The tropics is also home to 80% of the world's biodiversity, and many of the critical issues facing our world are playing out in the tropics. As the State of the Tropics report shows, there is great and growing demand for products and services fit for a tropical environment, tapping a large and growing desire across the tropics for better health, improved educational outcomes, more and better fit-for-purpose infrastructure, reliable access to food, water and energy, and economic development that will result in improved standards of living while being attentive to natural resource values. There is also a growing demand for better regional security. Australia and Singapore, as advanced economies, have the potential to play a pivotal role in the face of this new global dynamic. Our nations have the skills and abilities, the tropical expertise and know-how that can be leveraged to the benefit of our nations and to the benefit of the tropical nations worldwide. Through its recently released white paper on Northern Australia, the Australian government is applying a laser-like focus to Australia's north, which is our tropical territory. For James Cook University, this is a most welcome development. A focus on Australia's north and on the tropics is deeply embedded in our DNA. More than 50 years ago, our university was established to be, and I quote, Australia's University for the Tropics. The ambition was to create a great national institution focused on the issues of the tropical world. As one university in 2 countries across 3 tropical locations, Cairns and Townsville in Queensland, and now working from an expanded campus here in Singapore, we are in a position to give further and better effect to that ambition. Indeed, we wish to inspire our students and alumni and our communities to play a role in the creation of a brighter future for both our nations and for the tropics worldwide. And so to the thank yous. I wish to commend and thank the many JCU staff, led by Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Head of the Singapore campus, Dr. Dale Anderson, who have all worked so very hard to plan and deliver our new campus and to ensure that today is memorable for us all. Thank you to Australian and Singapore government officials, many of whom have been working very hard behind the scenes to ensure today's event would be the success that I trust you feel it has been. I thank our architect, Mr Simon Lim of SLA Design, and our builder, KH Tan of Shanghai Chongqi, who have done a magnificent job of refurbishing the campus to ensure its vibrancy and functionality. A very special thanks to Australia's High Commissioner to Singapore, the Minister for Trade and Investment, the Premier of Queensland, the Singapore Senior Minister of State, Singapore's High Commissioner to Australia and Members of Parliament. Thank you all for adding mightily to our occasion through your presence. And finally, our profound thanks to the Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable Tony Abbott, for doing us the great honour of opening our new campus. Prime Minister, it was beyond our wildest dreams that you would be the one to do this for us. Thank you to all our other distinguished guests, including the Australian business delegates who have accompanied the Prime Minister today, and to each and every one of you, special friends all. So my heartfelt thanks to everyone. Your presence has made this moment in the life of our university significant indeed. It is with your good wishes, as well as our hard work, that James Cook University in Singapore will grow and prosper, adding to the strong relations between our two countries and our peoples, and to the achievement of a brighter future for life in the tropics worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Now, will everybody remain seated until the Prime Minister and his official party leave?